Now, Hungary's foreign minister has said his country would seek legal ways to challenge the EU Parliament's ruling to start a punitive procedure against Budapest. The foreign minister, Peter Szijjarto, also slammed European Parliament, calling it a petty revenge of pro-immigration politicians. The European Parliament voted on Wednesday to sanction Hungary for flouting EU rules on democracy, civil rights and corruption in an unprecedented step that left Prime Minister Viktor Orbán isolated from powerful allies. The vote has little chance of ending up with the ultimate penalty of Hungary being suspended from voting in the EU. If nothing else, Hungary's ally Poland would veto that. But the 197 votes cast against the Parliament's first bid to launch the punitive process of the EU's treaty's Article 7 highlighted the substantial minority of European opinion who see Orbán as a crusader for the rights of nation-states.
This decision was made by violating the European treaties, as the votes regarding the absentees were not taken into consideration. So legally speaking, this decision goes totally against the procedures put forward in the European treaties. And it is absolutely obvious that this debate is about migration. There are forces in the European Parliament which basically hate the migratory policy of the current Hungarian government, and this is reflected in their decision.
Hungary's Prime Minister and his government now face charges of attacks on minorities and the media. Viktor Orbán calls himself the defender of Hungary. The right-wing nationalist Prime Minister unapologetically presents himself as the defender of Europe against Muslim migrants. He's the one who, like Trump, promised to build a wall to stop migrants. But unlike Trump, Orbán actually did build one. This is his brand of politics. Here's more.
He wasn't always a right-wing Christian conservative. In Fidesz, the party he helped found and which has seen him through the past 3 victories, was originally a liberal youth formation. But those who've been close to the Orbán persona saw the transition based on what can be described as a thirst to remain in power. In the wake of a string of terrorist attacks on European soil, Orbán was quick to see an opportunity to point fingers at immigrants. Nothing new in this diatribe, since many in Europe took the same stance. But where things were different for the Hungarian premier is in the constitution of his country. Of its roughly 10 million people, Hungary is largely homogeneous for many historical reasons. And despite more liberalism in the urban centres, closer to the capital city of Budapest, there is a core of rural Hungarians who are easily led to believe in the terrorism-immigration nexus, a rhetoric which was key to Orbán's campaign.
Mondjátok el hát mindenkinek.
Tell everyone that mass migration threatens security. Mass migration increases the danger of terror. It is completely clear that mass migration leads to more incidents of rape, which puts the security of our women at risk.
This discourse is reminiscent of that of US President Donald Trump. But that's not all, because much like Trump, one of Orbán's solutions to migrants and asylum seekers is a wall. The only difference is that Orbán has one. He built a 175-kilometer fence across the southern border with Serbia, after migrants fleeing war zones began transiting through Hungary, a move sharply criticized by the United Nations. But there's even more. As Europe tried to impose quotas to its members for the redistribution of asylum seekers, Viktor Orbán rejected the policies. His leadership would not allow the EU to say who should be permitted beyond its borders. Orbán's opponents believe the Hungarian leader is on an authoritarian path and that his stance on immigration has fueled xenophobia. With a message that he stands for all Hungarians against foreign meddling, Orbán tapped into feelings shared by many Hungarians who perceive threats to their national identity and feel they are treated as second-class citizens in the EU. Viktor Orban's strong win could boost other right-wing nationalists in Central Europe, in Poland and in neighbouring Austria, and expose cracks in the 28-nation European Union. Arabella Sibelak, Wion.